Welcome to the Adam Friedland Show podcast. We have J.D. McCann today.
It's great to be here.
J.D. JDF. Two middle names.
I thought it would be the opposite of like Madonna. You know, it's fancy people can go by one name, and that if I went by four names, that would make me seem humble.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
His name is not my name,
Yeah.
but very close.
You have a podcast. You want to promote it right
The
now?
James Donald Forbes McCann Catamaran Plan. I'm trying to buy a boat. $500,000. We're a long way away.
What is a catamaran? It's the one with two pontoons?
It's with a net, right?
It
like
has.
in the middle.
It can have a net in the middle, but it's two hulls, we would say.
Yeah.
Two holes?
Hull.
Hull.
H-U-double-L.
Yeah.
You said it right. He's being an asshole.
I don't know where the accent
not an
falls down,
asshole.
really. I can't say water. I can't say.
That sounds like water to me.
Core.
We speak the same language.
That's true. Well,
Yeah.
I keep saying, can we
it's
throw that
also-
in the bin? And people look at me like I'm
he's so
mental.
used to just having other people's words in one ear out the other that there's no context to it.
What was
so
that?
we're talking about a boat, and I say it's the one with two pontoons, and you go, it's got two hulls. Now, if you're listening to the conversation,
Well, I also said there was a net.
See, he's not listening now.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the conversation, you know we're talking about boats, and we would say hulls. And then he goes, holes?
Well, it was a kind of a comedy podcast thing that I'm on purpose. I knew you said
I mean,
hole.
it's the one thing you don't want.
And
in
I
a
was
boat.
like,
Am
oh,
I
is
right?
that like a
That and
pussy and a butthole? You know, and it wasn't
I
very
see.
funny,
Like a cloaca.
but yeah,
Okay.
a cloaca.
I rescind my complaint. I
Yeah.
didn't realize you were joking.
It was yeah, of course it was a joke.
I thought you were
Why
being
would a
racist towards our
Why would a
guest.
boat have a hole in it? It's the worst
We
thing
had
for a boat to
we had
have.
an Indian person on last week, and they were like, I can't wait to have dinner. And he's like, a dinar?
Dinar.
What is dinar?
They do sound
I thought
very
that was
funny.
a
Dude,
currency
every
that they
fucking
have.
time.
You had an Indian person on last week?
Yeah, we did. Modi, the prime minister.
Narendra Modi?
Yeah.
He's keeping India strong.
He is. Yeah,
I have big conversations with every Uber driver I have about Modi.
really.
Yeah.
They like
He
him.
came here and did like a Nazi rally, and there was like, didn't he do it at like Madison Square Garden? You remember that? In like 2015, there was like this big Indian
I don't remember that at
nationalist
all.
event.
Yeah, they hate Muslims, right?
Hate
Hindu
Muslims, they go
nationalists.
quiet about their hatred of Christians, but they are very strong. They don't like us for eating the cow, and they're a big, strong anti-Christian, anti.
Did you
cow
see
mutilation
RRR?
propaganda? Triple R?
Yeah.
No. Who
There's
was
like
that?
there's a movie
He's
out
like,
of
you know,
India,
the
like-
wrestler Triple X.
Yeah.
It's like him, but he's
yeah.
Like Triple H?
yeah, Triple H.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I was saying, or the movie Triple X. The joke works either way.
Yeah,
It's
no,
the movie
I-
Triple X,
I'm
but
following.
it's a guy that instead of being into like skateboarding.
Well, they had Eugene. That was their last big experiment into wrestlers.
Oh, is that a wrestler? I don't know anything about wrestling.
Oh,
Who's
that was
Eugene?
the last great era of wrestling. Was Eugene? There was a man who would be, who would come out and was really good at wrestling, but he couldn't
He was
button his
strong?
shirt up correctly. Strong, knew all the moves.
Was he
and then
playing
would get too
or
excited.
was he?
I think he was playing.
Yeah, because that's dangerous. Because they could like accidentally like of mice and men, like he's doesn't know his own strength.
Oh no, that was the
you know,
conceit
the
for all of
Rock
his
was
work.
almost the radio when he was like choosing his persona.
Yeah, because the football thing.
Well, the movie had just
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and he was.
and he was a
like-
football player.
He was
Yeah.
like, I gotta decide. I got two
Yeah.
choices.
All the catchphrases still work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shove it up your can have.
Yeah. I want some candy. Doesn't he say that?
What is the Rock smelling?
What you cooking, Mama?
The Rock has come back to
smell good.
Santiago.
You guys smell good,
That is
Mama.
what a special man would say.
Yeah, right.
But then they left that. They left the. Everyone in wrestling now just seems like a normal person who wants to wrestle.
Yeah.
I checked back in with wrestling recently.
I never
It's not
really.
good.
I
It's
never-
not good. They don't have star power anymore.
I never really got into wrestling, and I'll bring this up to people who are into wrestling, and to me, it's such an interesting thing. And they're like, "Yeah, of course." But there was a guy named Mr. Ass.
Nice.
When was
and he
that?
would wear underwear that says, "Hey, pal, look at my ass."
What
That
era
was a
was
good
that?
conceit back in the. I assume that's the Attitude Era.
Yeah. No, I think it was
Mr. Ass.
earlier. What is the Attitude Era? Late 90s?
That was WWF. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
And then there's a beautiful renaissance
Rock.
right up until Chris Benoit murders his family.
Yeah.
And then there's a little sour taste. I
that's
was on
when
a bus.
wokeness took over.
I was on a bus from Pittsburgh to Cleveland next to a man who was on speed, And he spoke to me about Chris Benoit murdering his family for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And he was saying that every wrestler was his uncle. He was like, Kurt Angle, he's my uncle.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember all the Samoan wrestlers? He was my uncle.
You're like,
start adding it together.
You're like, where are you
lineage.
taking this bus? And he's like, what bus?
It was, yeah. He showed me his girlfriend, who was a Filipino pop star.
Yeah.
But he was on speed. He let me know he was on speed at the start of the bus ride.
Oh, he disclosed.
And it's like that thing of you know what? Lying is wrong under all circumstances, but how much do you buy into a man's psychosis when you can't escape?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was great.
Yeah.
So Chris Benoit
you have
murdered
to
his
agree
family to
with
send him to
everything,
heaven.
though, if
Yeah.
you're in that scenario.
No, he was like, there's God, but there's the devil, and they're both good guys, and we should be paying them both respect.
oh, the yin and yang. Yeah.
Yes, he knows that's, if you read enough of the Tao, that's what you turn into, is this man. I feel bad talking about him just because he was such a sweet boy. He was going to go to wrestling school.
No, you
wasn't
described
really.
him as a man on speed, but now he's a boy. Was this a young man or?
I mean, it was hard to tell because I think he'd done some hard living, but he was somewhere between 22
18,
and
yeah.
47 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Mercy me.
What,
He had the chops and the moustache.
Was he buff?
yeah.
No,
No.
not at all.
He didn't have a body for wrestling even. He was probably...
He was going to get one.
He was going to get one.
He was
Yeah.
sure that he was going to get one, and he told me he was strong. And I gave him my Instagram. I didn't know he wanted my phone, so I gave him my Instagram handle. And then
It was great to meet you, JD.
within a couple of days, yes,
He calls you JD
he'd
too?
wiped his Instagram. I tried not to tell him my name, but I
No,
assume he knows.
That's
it
our
now.
thing.
Mhm.
I hope he's all right. Yeah, I would never do that with him. This is special with us.
It's
Yeah.
our special thing. I last night I went to like a movie premiere thing at Metrograph, and afterwards I was in the same room as Elvis. Not to brag,
Costello or-
Austin Butler.
Oh,
right?
nice.
But the interesting thing was, I looked at him. I was like, "Oh golly, wow! Look at him. He's look at this beautiful Elvis over there." And every girl I was with was like, "He's unattractive," and every guy I was with was like, "He looks so good." But I think that there is a type of handsomeness I just discovered last night that's just for guys.
Sure.
I didn't
I'm trying to think
realize.
of one other example of a handsome guy.
I think that Ryan Reynolds and what's his name, the fucking Blade Runner guy, Barbie movie.
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Gosling,
The
yeah.
two Ryans.
No, women love the Ryans.
I think that's AstroTurf.
You know the opposite. I'll tell you the opposite.
I think that's
Oh,
like mainly
the opposite is Timothy
it's
Chalamet.
like it's a conceit that men will be like, oh, look how hot that guy is, and it's like, in what sense? And you're like, on paper, right? Like, my understanding of it.
It blew my mind. Every girl was like, "No, he's not hot at all." I was like, "What the hell? He's beautiful." But I think it's just for us, for
I'm
the
trying to
fellas.
I went to
I
a
was walking on the street behind two male models earlier today. Very funny, listening to their conversation. All I picked up was one of them goes, "How crazy would it be if all the homies showed up in colored contacts?"
So cool.
it's just their living Zoolander.
I wish we were
no,
them.
they were good.
Off to a
It was-
gasoline
It
fight.
was good stuff. Both of them very handsome, and then like just these sort of like waifish bodies to just
Yeah.
drape clothes on.
It is
Yeah.
weird when you see the supermodel. I saw one on the subway, I
And
believe today.
They had the same gait
6 foot
as
tall
like
lady.
like old Texas guys. For whatever reason, in like the 50s, there was this idea of masculinity where you had just this kind of skeletal, like weak body.
Yes.
Particularly the lower half, where they have like rickets or like just some sort of bone disease where they're
well, they have
their
like spurs,
there's
right?
a scene
they
in
walk
North by
like a doll,
Northwest
like a marionette.
where who's
Yeah.
the North by Northwest guy? Who's that? Is that Carrie?
Albert
Cary
Brooks.
Grant.
I
Albert
wish it was
Brooks.
Albert Brooks. That
Yeah.
would be wonderful.
Yeah.
It would be a much funnier movie. But
Mhm.
there are whole scenes based around him being so handsome that, like, there's a woman in a hospital bed who cannot believe she's seeing such a handsome man. He looks like an old,
I think he looks
skinny
good.
man.
Yeah.
He looks fun. Who's It's a Wonderful Life? Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart is portrayed as a very sexy man.
He doesn't
in
look good
his
to me.
films.
Yeah.
Well, they would do that. I mean, the best of that is Humphrey Bogart back in the 30s.
Yes,
Just this guy that looks like a janitor.
but then he
And
starts
they'd be like,
dancing.
"Listen, I love you." People are like, "Oh, stop, stop,
Wait, no, Humphrey
Humphrey,
Bogart wasn't dancing.
stop, Mister. Fuck me, Mister Bogart, please." Yeah.
No, go away.
I think the opposite of the Elvis guy is the bear guy, because when his like
Yes.
Calvin Klein underwear
I
stuff
had a
came
woman
out, I
show
was
me
like,
that commercial
he looks like
and get
shit.
very excited while
He
that
looks
was
like a
happening.
rat, and his body looks like a penis.
No, it's the rat
like
boy.
a veiny
Sabrina
penis.
Carpenter's boyfriend.
Who is that guy?
He's a very
John
ratty,
Carpenter.
famous man.
John Carpenter.
Yeah.
They're bringing the band back
Yeah.
together. They've got to watch the
He's doing
anorexia this time around.
soundscapes.
But
I
he's
mean, I would
sad.
like to imagine John Carpenter. He's like at a family event, and it's like maybe it's a distant cousin or a cousin, right? And it's Thanksgiving, but the guy, he's not doing as well as John Carpenter, so the house is kind of small, right? So they all have a big meal, and John Carpenter, oops, he had a little too much salted caramel, and he's like, "You'll have to excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom." And he goes in the bathroom, but he brings a very tiny synthesizer in there with him, and through the closed door, you can just hear like. He's just covering the sound of him having very loud diarrhea.
Just splashes.
With synthesizer music. As he's struggling, as you hear like, it gets louder,
This is an American thing, is the loud fan in the toilet. The pointlessly loud.
Mine broke
fan.
as soon as I moved into my apartment, and there's been a hole in the ceiling for 7 years.
They'll get right to that, your landlord, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what, you have friends and family over and they just hear each other defecating?
I don't know friends and family.
No. I was once in a very bad apartment in Sydney, and I was with a woman. We'd moved in together. It was one of the first places we lived. And the toilet, it was such a bad apartment, there were French doors on the toilet. So we'd have to run the shower while we
would
would
forget
shit.
to open them, and you'd shit all over the doors.
Just so that you can enter a saloon in a very dramatic way when you sit down on the toilet. That would be great if the toilet itself had Wild West style swinging doors.
I would they slide open like elevator doors. I would do the end of Independence Day every time I took a shit.
But flying into
I would set the
to
doors
Earth?
to close as I'm shitting. And I'd have a cigar in my mouth. I'd be, welcome to Earth. And then half the time it doesn't work, and I end up with shit all
If you're
smeared all over my
constipated, you could
ass.
do it like the start of Indiana Jones, where the door's closing very slowly, and you've got to get the shit out in time.
That's what the idea was. I don't know if you've seen Independence Day. It's more of
Not in
it's
years.
an American thing.
Well, we don't. I've just watched John Adams. I'm halfway through the John Adams
Great show.
I'm watching it with Shane, who just gets drunk and tells me that Australia is weak because we never declared independence. But I don't know what your big kerfuffle was with the beautiful crown. The sensitive. They just want to.
Well,
what's
we didn't
best
want
for
to
you.
pay taxes.
They were taxing you so little. You
Yeah,
got
but they
independence for 80
were
years and
fighting
you
like
invented
7 other wars, so we
taxes.
just like fought for a little bit, and then they were like, we have to get back to the other wars.
They did let you go.
The
Yeah.
American Revolution's awesome.
Yeah, it's sick.
Well, it's
Have some fucking respect.
funny
dude.
how you learn about the Boston Tea. Are they still teaching the Boston Tea Party in schools?
Yeah, I
as
think
if
so,
that
yeah.
was like a good thing.
That's like you learn that first grade. or
I know,
something.
but that even
it's a huge deal.
Even in like school, when you're learning it, you're like, "What do you mean? Why did they dress
It doesn't
up
make
like
sense.
Native Americans?"
Yeah.
And so they just
What's
like,
the they
they're
had to
like,
make
we're
it
gonna
racist.
blame it on the fucking. We're gonna make the British
The
think
perfect
the
crumb.
fucking savages did it.
Is that what it was for? It could be a sign of respect to the native.
I doubt it was a
Peoples?
sign
No?
of respect.
No,
in
I
the
don't know if we respect
1700s.
it.
We need to be as brave as the braves,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
only
yeah.
then.
You guys do land acknowledgement
Non-stop.
nonstop.
It's a little awkward at the moment because we just had a big vote on whether or not we should
Who
give.
started that? Canada?
Peter Dutton.
How do you know Peter Dutton? Are you following that closely? There,
I
people in Australia still don't know Peter Dutton.
Gilad.
Gilad. Oh,
Gillard.
Gilad's out.
Yeah.
We like to change prime ministers every 2.5 years.
Peter Dutton was the prime minister when we were there, and he looked like a penis,
No,
right?
leader
he was
of
a
the
cop
opposition.
from Queensland.
He has full alopecia, I think. No eyebrows.
The bald guy. Yeah. He looked like shit.
There's a Voldemort-like quality. to
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
But sadly, he's currently the most charismatic.
Who's the guy
leader.
that ate the onion like an
That was
apple?
Tony.
Tony.
Tony
That
Abbott.
was
He
the
had
best
a real
one.
personality.
He was like 75 IQ, right?
I think he was smart and he was afraid of saying what he truly believed. He was a very conservative Catholic.
Which is what?
Well, contraception should be taken off all the shelves and
Oh yeah, you can't say
abortion doctors should be treated with that respect.
that. Mm-hmm.
But then he just ate onions instead so that people...
Like an apple.
That was funny.
That's cool.
That's a cool,
I think it's awesome.
it's a hip thing to do. It's a strong man.
Who's the guy now?
We've got Anthony Albanese, who's
Pathetic.
Italian. No, he's... We
Oh,
don't
yeah,
have
you
a
have
good, strong leader. I
Italians.
would love a one exciting, strong Australian to just declare... You know, we've got nuclear weapons now. We're taking over the region.
Do Italians
Australia doesn't have nukes, do they?
No, but we make all the uranium,
Yeah.
so we could do it.
Yeah. What do they make? How does that, like, they mine the uranium or they enrich it also?
I think we only mine it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to think we're like the Japanese or the Israelis, where you secretly have a nuclear weapon, but
they do?
I don't think we do. Who? The Japanese?
Israel?
Is
News to
apparently
me.
no.
Mhm.
No, I don't think so.
Well, they would want one. Lickety split. South Africa had them and got rid of them. Do you know this?
Did they?
South Africa, they had
To
secretly
just
had nuclear
use
weapons.
on black people.
Yeah, basically. That was their
They had
nuclear
no
option.
reason to have
fire them
them.
But then
across the
just
street.
before Nelson Mandela came in, they said, we've gotten rid of the nuclear weapons. We'll have the black guys in charge, but we do not trust them with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
nuclear weapons.
That's
pretty
awesome.
sad.
De Klerk got rid of them. I lived there for like a year when I was a kid.
In South Africa?
We moved back. My parents are from Cape Town.
Boy,
and
what is the
his-
Jewish South
his-
African connection?
His
There's
They're
a
all
family is
lot.
crazy. He's lived in
Lithuanians,
South
yeah.
Africa. He's lived in Israel.
Yeah.
And his
Nazi
family
Germany.
in the 1930s, they went from Brooklyn to Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Why?
They go, they're going to need one
Yeah.
or two. They're going to need a couple of them.
We were like,
We'll help.
No, we were like, let's see what this is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be as bad as they're saying.
No, we were there. They were there for like 2 generations. Then I was born in L.A. But when I was a kid, Nelson Mandela like spoke at my grandma's synagogue, and he was like, tell the kids to come back and like build the new country. But like all my parents' generation all left, but all the grannies are still there,
Yeah.
complaining and refusing to leave.
I mean, this is, I think, whatever anti-Semitism there is in Australia is because we only have South African Jewry.
They're awful.
I feel so safe here.
But
it's not like
But
back home.
they all go to Sydney though, because it's like
they do
Cape
all
Town.
go to Sydney. I
Yeah.
live next to the Anne Frank Museum.
My cousins
for a while
all live in
that they
Sydney.
built.
Yeah.
That's nuts. They live in Bondi. During World War II, they thought the Japanese were going to come over the beaches. And so the real estate went down and all the Jews got to move to the most beautiful beaches. Smart.
The north. They live in the north of Sydney.
There's the North Shore.
on
Yeah.
the beach. On the beach, yeah.
Oh, you
Looks
don't want
nice.
to go out west. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's really nice place. I went to the beach with Stav. Nick didn't come with
It was
us.
too hot. It was like fucking 180.
That's why you
degrees
go to the
outside.
beach.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you survived in Austin this is my biggest Austin complaint, is it's unlivable for 3 months
Nah,
a year.
you stay there long enough and then you adjust to it. There was one summer I was there where the temperature like just didn't go below 100 even at nighttime for like the entire summer. But I was drunk you just get drunk all the time and you don't think about it.
Did you go to the Springs?
Not Barton Springs. I
Barton
never went to
Springs?
Barton Springs once.
Oh.
Where I would go is Krause Springs.
I didn't know there was a second Springs.
There's a lot of. They got them all over Texas.
I-
But Krause Springs is real nice.
I did my first flip last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a springboard and I did a flip into the water.
Awesome.
How'd it feel?
It felt incredible.
You should try a backflip. It's easier.
No.
It's easier.
I refused to believe that. I was so
Backflips-
excited to do my forward flip.
Did your wife
Backflips
see you do
feel-
it?
They
No.
What a bitch.
She
They-
was at home.
They feel
Babe,
more
look.
natural because you just throw your legs over your head.
There was a man, I
That's
told everyone
scary.
in the line I was going to try and do a flip, and he said, you got to look at your own butt. So that's what
Yeah.
I went with. And there was no
That's good
cheering
advice.
when I came
I used
out
to
of
be
the
able to
water,
do
but-
flips off diving boards easily, and then one time I just fucking like smacked hard on my back, knocked the wind out of myself.
And the fear got into you.
Yeah, it created a mental block, and then I just couldn't do it anymore.
You were Simone Biles of the backflip.
Yeah. So she's back in the Olympics now, or just commenting on it on Instagram?
No,
She was
she
back.
won all the stuff. I
Oh,
think.
she's back.
Yeah, she did
But
good.
they
'Cause I-
changed the rules to
I-
let her win.
I remember.
Shut up, dude.
No, they did. She's doing all these
Come
big
on,
flips
coming
in a
over to
slightly
mine.
sloppy way, and they said that's what we want now.
Too sloppy
It
for
used to
you.
be a very skinny girl doing something unimaginative flawlessly.
You like it
And
skinny.
natural. I liked when there was a
Come on,
14-year-old who'd
dude.
do something that was not remarkable but didn't
Romanian,
make any
yeah.
mistakes.
Mhm.
That was what gymnastics used to be, and now it's all big, sturdy ladies doing a million flips, and then at the end,
She's not big, dude.
Pete,
she's like
Pete,
5.
Pete,
She's like 4
real
or
quick,
5.
we're
compared
gonna
to the past.
we're gonna delete we're gonna delete this, but there's-
What?
we're not gonna keep this joke in here.
You won't leave that in?
He just beep it, actually.
You want to move tickets and you refuse to put that in the podcast?
Yeah, I don't.
Madness.
You don't want that.
You have a solution right in front of you
It's
for
not
moving
worth it.
lots of tickets.
It's very funny.
Different kinds of tickets, different cities, but
Good. I kind of saw it coming.
Oh, you saw. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So sorry. Yeah, Adam already thought of that joke.
I didn't think of that joke.
Yeah.
I just know how your head works.
what happens in the writer's
I
room?
was thinking that already.
Actually, I said
Yeah,
it to Nick.
actually,
I told Nick that.
Actually, I
already.
kind of came up with that before.
Actually, I was the first person to say it. Actually, I thought it, and then Nick read my mind.
I was living just outside of Pittsburgh for my first 3 months in America, and I got to go to the Mr. Rogers Museum
Mm-hmm.
in Pittsburgh. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
All the other museums are so we stole this land.
Yeah.
Slavery was a terrible thing. You go to that museum, it's just a man in a cardigan saying, I love you.
They should start doing Mr. Rogers acknowledgements at the
What?
beginning of events.
Where you take your shoes off and you let everybody know it's a
then
beautiful day in the neighborhood.
You'd have a moment of silence, and then a tiny train goes behind you.
It would be a step up.
Yeah.
It's weird when you go to a festival and they're doing the land acknowledgement. They mandate it at every show.
In Australia.
Yeah, so you'll do like the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and then they'll have a pre-recorded thing that you have to play at the start of the show. And then, like, you know, you're watching the fattest drag act in the history of time.
Now, I don't really know too much about this stuff at all, but my perception of things is that the like racial antagonism in New Zealand isn't as
No, I think they have a better situation.
they have a better situation, and it seems like the reason for that is because like the Maori won, basically.
Oh, I mean, I can go into detail on this.
I would love you to.
I think they'd be a part of that. Geographically, it's a better situation where New Zealand is small enough that you can basically have your own thing going on and then come in and have a call center job. Australia, that's never going to happen. But yeah, the Maori got a treaty and fought them to a standstill, and then took the guns that they got in the treaty and went and did another genocide, their own genocide, just so that they felt they could do it
what?
on the Chatham Islands to the Moriori,
Oh, okay.
who were a peace-loving people. As they were being invaded, they held a meeting and they said, should we fight back? Should we break our pacifist principles? They decided not to, and they were eaten.
Mm-hmm.
There's apparently a couple were kept in slavery afterwards. But I think that has helped the Europeans and the Maori come to an understanding.
Is that they were also genocidal?
We're all drenched in blood.
Yeah.
We're all bad people.
Yeah.
Let's do a haka
Let's
together.
do the dance. Yeah.
And the dance hasn't hurt them. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really the fact that white people
No,
get
the
to do
dance.
the
The
dance as
dance
well.
eventually did. This is the thing, because I always hated the haka.
Nick hates
No.
it.
I always thought it was.
No, shame
I
on
always
you.
hated it. I always hated it. I thought it was so stupid, and then like I mean, it doesn't like of all the things that Maori have, like defending Zion in the second Matrix movie. You know, it's like they've done a lot of good.
Yeah.
And the
Lord of the Rings.
yeah. But I always thought that dance was so stupid. And then I don't know if you saw this, but during COVID, they did the haka at the vaccine.
anti-vaccine haka.
And then we never had to hear from it again. We never, no more haka. We're taking the haka away. Because it was crazy. I remember said they did a haka for 9/11.
Yeah. Oh, no, this is a fairly common thing in the antipodes where you're
Yeah.
feeling a bit emotional. You'll watch a haka, have a little cry, watch a haka montage.
Yeah.
A schoolboy has died in a car accident, and the whole community comes together to Hamada!
Yeah.
Slapping and the
Mhm.
tongues out.
It's
Oh,
cool.
no,
I'm
it's
familiar
beautiful.
with it.
Oh,
When I was
I
in-
can't believe you don't love it.
When I was in
don't,
Cape Town last time, I went kayaking.
Let me
like
put
out
it
in the
this
bay.
way. I didn't watch it. I didn't even look at the controversy. But I prefer the opening to the Paris Olympics to the haka. Any haka
the fashion show
versus, yes, the apparently
the they them fashion show.
trans Satanist, whatever
It was
they're calling it.
pretty awesome. I think
I don't understand
it got me ready for sports. When last time I was
It's
in
not even a good dance.
the haka.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like the worst line dancing I've ever seen in my life. Achy Breaky Heart is better than the haka.
The haka opened the door so Achy Breaky Heart could
do
walk
you
through.
guys have a haka in
Maybe.
South Africa or
In
Australia?
Australia? No, I think in the 80s people started to have some Aboriginal dances that
They were too hard?
They were trying to bring everyone together. No, it's just like pretending to be an emu, and
Not scary
it
enough.
hasn't taken off.
Yeah.
And also, they don't really like it when white people do it.
Yeah.
There was some of it in our breakdancing when she's doing the kangaroo dance. That was very evocative of a 1980s.
hmm People are being too
Australian
nice to that
Aboriginal
girl,
dance.
the breakdance girl.
What, you think they should be nasty to that lady?
Yeah,
She's
she
living the
stinks.
dream.
She stinks.
She pretended to be good at a sport and got a free trip to the Olympics.
She
That's every
stinks.
Aussie's.
What are you guys talking about?
There's a lady from Australia that was bad at breakdancing that went viral.
Oh, they're
for
breakdancing at the
stinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, she stinks. Boo. Anyway, but last time I was
I'll
in
back her in. I'm
when
a big
I went on a
defender of our
kayak
breakdancing lady.
tour, like in the ocean, like in Cape Town.
Do they have video games at the Olympics yet? Have they like gotten to stoop
Yeah,
to
they
that
do.
level?
They have
South Korea
they have
can finally get a
Madden.
medal.
Yeah, they have Madden. Yeah, they have 2K and Madden tournaments.
They
What?
have video games.
Video
at the
games?
event.
That is
Wow.
revolting.
I'm so excited for the 2028 Olympics.
Ugh.
They got to bring back city planning and free verse poetry.
Yeah, so I went to the Olympics for Sim City.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I went on a kayak tour and the guy was like, yo, I was on the South African national ice hockey team. I was like, are people good at that? He's like, no, it's like not that hard to get on it.
Nice.
But he's like, yeah, I played in New Zealand and they tried to do a haka on the ice. And he said guys were like falling down and stuff before the match.
You know, despite all this, I think what could restore the prestige of the Olympics if you just go no more professional athletes. It should go back to what it used to be.
100%.
Which is just fucking like just idiots. They're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go to the Olympics.
Gentlemen seeing if they can run fast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
It should be like the aristocrats of the day. Elon Musk should be allowed to go.
I want to see like 4 or 5 cardiac arrests at every event. Because it's a guy that's never done any exercise. He's like, I can run faster than this fucking idiot from Germany.
When's the last time someone's died at the Olympics? I'm sure it's happened.
I think it would happen all the time.
It should happen again. To get the guys back into it. Why are girls so into Olympics? My girlfriend was taking it way too seriously.
Because it's
a girl thing.
You don't have to commit to anything.
But it's
a couple
sports,
of weeks.
though. It should be for the guys.
But it's a thing you only have to commit to for like 4 weeks. It's not a real interest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like being into Shark Week. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, Shark! I love Shark Week.
I'm obsessed.
Because you can't focus on anything but your phone for more than 30 seconds. So here's an event that lasts 2 weeks. You don't have to worry about being into it long term.
Yeah.
It's just a very short thing that you can get into.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
I watched the ping pong final, girls ping pong final.
I didn't see that one.
And it was 2 Chinese ladies that both looked like little boys, and they were incredible. It was so exciting.
I wish the French get up. I think the French got up in the ping pong, and they beat an
They
Asian
made it
country.
far.
It was. I think they might have won the gold medal. I could be getting.
France beat Asia.
Maybe it was for the bronze medal. France beat an Asian country. And it was,
they beat Asia.
They looked like the Proclaimers. They were pasty white, bespectacled French guys, and they were so. The Japanese team was very disappointed.
Wait, it was
that they
ping
weren't
pong
competing.
doubles.
Ping pong doubles, yeah.
That's crazy.
Aren't you bumping into the other guy?
Dude, they should have beer pong in the.
How does that work? Did one of them stands on the table?
They played doubles for a while, and then they went back to one-on-one.
But I've never seen ping pong doubles in my life. I don't know.
Maybe I'm misremembering this because it was Arizona and I was hot when I was watching it.
No,
you're
probably right. I'm saying
you're right.
I haven't seen it, and I need it explained to me because I don't understand.
It's just they probably just 2 guys.
How about they
far
redo
from the
Challengers, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's ping pong, and in the sauna scene, they just got the smallest sticks in the world. These are just guys. They're both.
Pete, what time is it?
I'm supposed to be intimidated. You coming in here waving your tiny little cock around them?
Summer is here, and it's summer is hot. If you're squishing when you're sitting, it's time for dry, quick underwear from Pair of Thieves.
Show them the
wow.
underwear.
Look at these. These are dry, quick underwear from Pair of Thieves.
Adam, respect the product, please.
Here.
Don't do that.
What do you think about this? Shut up, dude. Let's run that again.
Man, the guy on the box has a huge penis.
Let me see his cock.
Look at this tiny man with the massive penis. Hold on. Look at his penis. Look
he's
at
certainly
stuffing.
wouldn't be in my version of challenge.
They really did get a big dick guy for this. This is a.
Look at the size. Yes, the same guy.
You really see the print too on the back of the fuck. So if you guys are interested,
and he's doing karaoke, and he's just got
This cowboy hat.
He's
He
doing
can do whatever he
karaoke.
wants with that.
He's
penis.
wearing a fucking Pharrell like a park ranger hat, and his cock looks amazing in this dry, quick.
I don't know. Those could be his balls stacked together.
Look at this guy's
It could be
dick.
one of his balls stacked in front of the other one.
I tell you, who's not going to dry quick is the ladies when they see this man.
Yeah,
there you
They're going
go.
to be
Yeah.
gushing.
With basic underwear, you can expect a sweaty, soggy situation in
It
your
comes
shorts.
with a picture for your wife to masturbate to. Every box.
Escape basic and embrace greatness with Pair of Thieves dry underwear. Quick dry underwear with action flexes engineered to keep you dry, fresh, and comfortable all day long. Guys, Pair of Thieves, Escape basic. Go to pairofthieves.com today. Get 25% off your first order. 25% off your first order at pairofthieves.com. Get 25%. It doesn't have a code, but I assume it's TAFS. This guy's
more
dick is
sneaky
amazing.
Performance products. We got the brief, the trunk, and the boxer brief.
They got long sleeve T-shirts. These look amazing. They got some.
They got green.
These
That's
shorts look awesome.
My favorite
How does
color.
his penis look?
The snut. You don't see this guy's penis though.
What's the point?
These are lounge pants though. So I assume
Quick dry lounge pants for when you've pissed yourself and you don't want to come out and have a big stain.
I do that. I've been going on stage with piss on the front of my pants.
What, are you trying to give yourself a handicap to make stand-up a little more difficult?
I just don't care anymore.
No, it's funny.
It's just I'll piss and I'll put my dick away too early.
You didn't
and
shake.
there's just piss all over my pants, and I'm like, hey everybody!
What a
I don't-
power
yeah,
move. That's a good move.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody came up to me in Dallas. They were like, we could see your penis the entire
Oh,
show,
man.
and I said, I don't care.
I had a flight in Austin and I did that
Yeah.
at the airport, and someone wanted to take a photo with me, and I looked at the photo and I had a huge, great big piss stain on the trousers.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hopefully that's. I tried to hold the shirt over it,
No.
but I didn't make it.
How old are you?
33.
Okay, give it another year or two. You'll stop caring.
Oh, if I get these quick dry underpants, I'm going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Where does
for
it evaporate to if you have a layer of trousers on top of the underpants? Do you just
No one
does
knows.
it soak the trousers? Don't
I
you
don't know.
want the underpants to hold the liquid in?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how liquids work. I never took that class.
Yes, lots of salt.
I don't feel like humans should have liquid waste. It seems it's dumb
It should all be
that
poo.
you have two different excretion systems. One's for solid and one's for liquids.
Yeah, it should be one system.
Yeah, you should poop out of your cock.
Also, that you only have a gas on one of them.
Can you imagine
There's no urethra gas.
how violent society would be if men didn't have an asshole and you just shat out of your dick? There would be
That would make us
there
more
would be
violent?
no risk to prison. There would be none. It'd be like they'd come to the FBI would come to my house and say, "We're sending you to jail for 45 years." I say, "Fine, great. Pay for my bed."
Make my day.
No, they
Fill
don't
it-
want to
I'll
shit.
fill it with manga.
They don't want to shit down your
Uh,
mouth with their big shit penises.
Well, then
Am I
the-
misunderstanding? There's still
I guess, yeah, they
orifices and a
could
need
fu-
to
they could
ejaculate.
fuck
He's
Fucking
talking
hell.
about his socialist utopia right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you're in prison?
Nick's big. He's
Yeah. Well, that's what a socialist
That's what-
utopia
yeah.
is a prison filled with manga.
manga and poop coming out of your dick. Makes sense to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have that over there in Australia.
Mango and poop coming out of the dick?
Yeah, manga.
I
Yeah.
bet there is a man who has to shit out of his dick.
If they have gaming at the Olympics, they should literally have a pissing contest. That at this now the term pissing contest
Yeah.
has lost its weight
It's totally
because
true.
of how we've degraded what we compete in.
I wonder how.
And you know what I blame? The entertainment industry in the 1980s. They made all of these movies about how you can be the best at all of these dog shit
That's
things.
true.
You know,
That's true.
We've got pissing.
they had to make stuff up.
That's true.
Fucking over the top. The guy, he's the best arm wrestler in the world.
Yeah. Everyone's on steroids too in those
Right.
days. Yeah.
If you don't have over the top, you don't have fidget spinners. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, you glorify things that are stupid that should
Sure.
not be subject to competition ever. And then it opens the floodgates. And now a guy's like, well, I'm the best at Rubik's Cube. No, it's a puzzle for children. There's no way you can't be the best at it because it's for babies.
Russia is starting like slapping across the face as a sport.
No,
Have you
that's
seen
that's
those
yours.
videos?
Well, Dana White, that's his second competition. He owns the UFC and Power
And slap. Yeah.
Slapping competition.
Power slap.
Just getting there's a slap. But you see Russians are really good at it.
I saw someone showed
There
me
are a lot
reel-
of videos with a racial
There's a
subtext.
new fighting
of a
tournament
white-
of it's men on women fighting. And it's one man having to fight two
Two
ladies.
chicks?
Yeah, I think it's a
Thank
Belarusian league. And
Finally.
it's very confronting
Mm-hmm.
because the man still does just win.
I want to start a UFC where you have a ring, right?
Okay.
And then there's no weight classes. Well, there are weight classes, but the weight classes are like there's big fat guys,
Okay.
and then men of smaller stature who are maybe like kind of lithe and they can move around quickly. They're
Ninja
agile.
style. Yeah.
And so the ring is a big circle,
Yeah.
and then on the top there's like sort of a walkway, and the fat guy has to jump off and try and land on the smaller guy.
Nice.
Right, and
Yeah.
the smaller guy, all he has to do is
Survive that first blow.
survive it, and the
Yeah.
fat guy will die naturally
like that.
every time. But they're called enforcers.
Well, this is bullfighting,
yeah,
but with people.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
And
mean, I
maybe,
think
maybe
number
we'll
one-
just and then it's also the small guy is Spanish and he's dressed like a pimp.
I like that. Get a bear, put him on a stake, have two dogs try and fight the
Yeah.
bear.
Yeah, yeah.
This is real
Well,
entertainment.
you probably know about English blood sports. You seem to be.
Only that one. Only
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's a Shakespeare where someone is pursued by a bear because a bear would get out from next door. But that was the big attraction, was the two dogs fighting a bear.
Two dogs
And if that
fighting
was
a
full,
bear.
you'd go and watch Macbeth.
Yeah, there's a
Before the play, they'd
excerpt
have that.
on Wikipedia.
Next to it, that was the competitor.
There was an excerpt on Wikipedia about one of those where they had a chimpanzee tied to the back of a donkey.
Nice.
And then they sick dogs on it, and
Okay, no, that's nice.
but then chimpanzee just started just punching the dog in the head. And
So
then,
the chimpanzee could win the fight?
well, I guess
They're very strong.
yeah,
apparently.
it was
Yeah.
supposed to be that the chimp and the donkey were on a team versus the but it just sort of turned into everyone against the donkey for their own reasons.
Yeah,
The
we've
story
really,
of
we've
Israel,
purged
I mean.
animal fighting. We've purged animal fighting, which is sad. The Japanese have still got dog fighting. I've read a lot about that on Wikipedia.
I would like to see one of those Japanese spider crabs versus a battle bot.
What is that?
Yeah, you've ever seen them?
No.
You've probably eaten them.
Are they huge?
Big
They're
hands,
massive. They
yeah.
got big legs. They're like an H.G. Wells kind of.
They're scary.
Yeah, they have them at the aquarium. They have one just sitting.
I've never been to that aquarium.
They also just have them in Chinatown that you can buy and eat. That's a very funny thing about New York, is that within the same city confines, you can go see an animal that's being preserved,
Yes.
by like a conservation society, and then you can go to a neighborhood over and you can eat that animal.
But I tell you, if you go to Central Park and you take a duck and you hang it up by its neck, people will be very upset. There was we have ibises in Australia, which
What's
you
that?
can. It's we call them bin chickens is the other term. They're like birds with a large.
They're like sort of
beak and spidery
crane-like.
feet. They
sort
are
of-
crane-like.
Yeah.
And in some states you're allowed to kill and eat them on the street, and in
Uh-huh.
some states you are not. But there was a Vietnamese man in Sydney who was on the news, and he was saying, "This is fine where I'm from. You're allowed to just kill these birds." And then at the end they revealed that was Queensland, which was 50 kilometres up the road. It wasn't in Vietnam.
Everyone's just imagining
Yeah.
the jungle, just Huey helicopters overhead. He's like, "Oh fuck,
No.
gotta get dinner made before the."
Can you
napalm."
poach any game in a city in America?
No,
No.
yeah, certainly not in New York City. I don't think.
Well, there are a lot of Chinese guys fish off the like piers, and there's signs that say that like these fish are radioactive. Please do not eat them. But the Chinese guys still do it. Yeah,
Strong.
yeah, strong men,
Much respect.
strong guys. It's cool. We could get like frogs to eat
Yeah.
like within 20 minutes after we do this
There are
podcast.
rats everywhere.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
And the
there was
way-
a man
the
on
way-
the subway
the
who was
way
asking
they-
for money
they-
for food. It
they-
was very. I
they
know that's
keep-
a normal thing here, but
Oh yeah, the way they keep the frogs too
Oh, yeah,
is
people are
hilarious.
homeless.
In the Chinese grocery store, they're all just in a big bucket.
well, you can just
They're
go
all
and buy
stacked
the
on
frogs.
yeah,
frogs
we can
at
go
the
get a
Chinese
bucket
grocery
of
store.
frogs after this.
I thought you meant running around.
15
on the
minutes, we get a
street
bucket of
with a-
frogs
no.
for you.
Well,
Take
that's
that,
very-
Austin.
That's very kind, but I will.
Are you
I'd like
charmed
to
by
see.
that? Are you like, wow, the big apple?
I mean, we've got
I can get
kangaroo
fro-
tails you can buy sometimes in convenience stores.
Where in Austin?
in Australia?
Oh, never mind.
No, none of that here.
And then what do? You cut it up like a catered sandwich?
I think Aboriginal people will eat them in the park.
Oh, okay.
Make a big fire. I've only heard about that as a myth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if we have any. Frogs in a bucket is upsetting. We do have.
I think it's cool.
Seemingly, the health and safety rules for the Chinese groceries do not apply. No one
They
is
kind
going
of
in there
have
and
their
making that
own
happen.
world in
Just
Chinatown.
a big bucket of tongues.
I remember the New York Times did like an expose on the fucking like the nail salon industry in Chinatown because a lot of the Chinese families that come over, they're basically indentured servants.
Sure.
They come over, they get like a little tenement apartment, and they can live in it rent free for like 10 years, as long as the dad usually
Yeah.
will get on a bus every morning and go to fucking Pennsylvania and work in a kitchen in a Chinese restaurant for free.
Okay.
And so they have like the living situation, but they get paid nothing. The wife will work at like a nail salon, and they get paid like
$3
like
an
$11
hour.
a day.
Nothing.
You know,
Yeah.
like nothing. And they did a big report on it. If I'm remembering correctly, I might not be, but they did a big report on it and exposed all these places. And then it was like, okay, well, the city came in and shut them down, and now they have no income, and they like fucked up this like
Sure.
this economy that exists there. But yeah, they don't have rules. They just do whatever they want. They're like living in like the 1800s.
It is impressive though, because the rest of the city gets gentrified and they hang on. Like they're immovable. The Chinese in Chinatown. It's kind of
Well,
cool.
there are businesses that no one else
Yeah.
will. No one else is running a nail salon.
Yeah.
No one else is running a massage parlor. They're always Asian rub and tugs. There's no white shonky
No,
massage parlors around.
I go to white blue collar rub and tugs.
Just a good,
calloused
decent,
hands.
made in America.
Yeah,
Can you imagine if they
Yeah.
had that?
75-year-old
You had
woman.
that in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
You like went to a place and it was like, like a black entrepreneur.
Soul rub.
Like, yeah, the guy that has like a master's degree, he has like an MBA,
Yeah.
and he's just jacking you off.
It's a black-owned business.
Yeah.
It's a family-owned
He's
business.
like, so what do you do for work?
Pete, is it time? All right, let's do it.
Also,
Is it the
before
Underpants
this,
again?
I mentioned I will be in Irvine, California at the Irvine Improv, September, I think, 21st. Sometime in September. You go to my website, you can buy tickets. We got to move those tickets, folks, please. If you know somebody in Orange County, this is probably the last time we'll be doing Orange County because those are big rooms, and we got to see if we can fill this one in a decent way. So, yeah, mall.dog/live dash shows. Or you just go to my website and click on shows, and then it's there. You can purchase tickets. But please come out. Third week in September, I think. Third or second week in September.
You keep talking about this like you're managing decline.
Yeah,
Like
a
this is the
failing
last
business.
time I do the big room.
Well, that room
you
is...
could have big things in the future.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that room. It's that seems like it may be a bit
The
of a...
Irvine Improv is
It's
huge.
massive.
How big is that?
It's
There's
like
there are mini
660
screens
seats.
in the back because you can't see the stage. Like it's
Yeah.
too far. It's like a stadium.
Just take this. You've got strong level of fame
No,
and celebrity. Just flip that with a scandal into
No,
the
there's
next
about 11
room.
people listening right now,
Mhm.
and they're friends and family.
Everyone who liked the old show
I've listened to this show.
is dead.
Is it just me?
Yeah,
Am
they
I the
all
only one
died.
hanging on?
They all OD'd or killed
Yeah, they're
themselves.
all... Yeah.
Also, guys, due to massive demand, there's a fourth show added in London on the 21st of September. Please come out. I would love to see you guys there. If you haven't gotten a ticket, I'm really excited to go to London. Should be fun. Sam Campbell is going to be on those shows on the 21st.
Oh, that's great. He's a sweet
Great
boy.
comedian from Australia as well.
James Donald Forbes McCann, Catamaran Plan. Wow.
and
Good
where are you going to take
podcast.
it out on Lake Travis?
I thought it would be fun to sail around the world back home to Australia the opposite direction.
Oh, okay. So you're going
come
to
down.
basically.
Yeah. This is a very
Don't die.
ostentatious that
Yeah.
I'm planning.
Lost at Sea.
That was my favorite. I love that at the end of Band of Brothers. Have you ever watched it, Joe?
Not to the end.
At the very end, the last episode, they have them all playing a baseball game. They do like a Sandlot ending, you know, and they're like telling about what happened to everybody. And some of them are like, "Oh, he went home and he managed a general store for 40 years."
Lumber
Yeah.
company.
But then one of
yeah.
them is like, he got on a boat, and no one ever saw him again. And it's like, well, he
I
himself.
remember this.
I don't,
Have you seen American Graffiti?
of course.
no, I haven't.
It's a nice movie about young men in cars,
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere, it's like, and they died in Vietnam. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Vietnam was coming along.
All right,
It's a real
guys,
cop-out.
we want to talk to you guys about what is it? What the hell is this for? Oh, a razor, some sort of
Harry's razors.
Okay, it happened to all of us, but
Harry's-
getting ripped off
Harry's-
is no joke, especially when razors are involved. That sounds scary. The people at Harry's were tired of seeing everyday people paying way too much for low-quality shaving products, so they found a way to make beautifully designed razors without laughably
Now, these are
high
actual-
prices.
Actual
Good razor
razors.
from
Let me tell you-
Target for like $19.
No,
And
but no, these are actually good ones.
These are
Ah.
in the podcast world, there is a lot of sponsors that deal with the business of removing hair from men,
Mhm.
and all of these companies, they sell electric
Yeah.
razors, right? Then Harry's is the one they still got its blades.
You go close shave for
Yeah.
the ladies, which they ladies all agree. 98% of ladies agree they want it with a blade.
What?
Yeah,
That's a statistic that they're putting forward?
I just made it up. But
Oh,
okay,
good, 'cause that sounded like a lie.
guys, Harry's was tired of seeing everyday people getting ripped off. I already said that. So get better designed and better value grooming products made by a company that forged their own path in the grooming industry. Ooh. All right. So
That's the good kind of the grooming industry.
these are
Not like the
German
kind that's going
engineered
on
blades,
across
and
town.
You can shave your dog with these.
it's true. German engineered
I was talking
blades,
about
Oh,
factory,
that kind of grooming.
and they stay sharp longer. German engineered. Customizable delivery options for scheduled refills as low as $2, half of what you pay for other big brands. The crap you were talking about from the store. This is half. So shut up. All right. All right, let's get a 5-blade.
I was thinking about getting into shaving my face. Harry should send us some stuff because I don't.
They may have. I don't know.
I trim, but like I don't ever. I've never had a daily shaving. Or I guess I used to, but I never. I don't.
I can't.
Maybe I'll let you. Maybe I'll let
forget.
Nick shave me on the show.
Like shaving every day with an electric razor is like it irritates your skin. It fucks
You have
your
small
shit up.
bits of hair all over the
Yeah. I'm like a once every 4 days kind of thing.
Harry's has 5-blade razors. That's crazy. Weighted handles, foaming shave gels, and a travel cover just for $3 at harrys.com/TAFS. So they have a full line of grooming products. You can lather, you can shave, you can soften your body.
Soften your body?
You have scents like redwood, wildlands, and stone.
Stone scent?
Stone.
Perfect.
Girls love a stone.
It's funny because it's the last word in the sentence.
Stone.
That's
What
what
does a
makes it
stone
funny.
smell like? It smells great. I think. I
Check
bet.
this out.
You
They
know
got
what?
3 colors. They have red, yellow, and blue.
But blue is not a.
You think blue is the
Stone
funniest
is
word
not a
in the
scent
sentence?
that you can
It's the last
imagine.
one. That's
Oh
it.
my God. Okay,
Green
so
would have been
Yeah,
very
it's got the
yeah.
highest customer satisfaction in the shaving industry. No risk trial. You don't like your shave? No worries. It's on
Well, there is a
them.
risk. You could cut your penis off. By
Yeah,
accident.
it's blades.
Do you know what I think does
You
have
could
the
accidentally
highest
shave your
satisfaction?
genitals
Highest
off.
satisfaction in the shaving industry. You're in the old west. There's a beautiful woman there. You're on your porch. You're all leathered up. She's got a straight razor. You're talking about how you're going to have to go off and find that little boy who's lost in the woods.
Yeah.
She wants to make sure you look right before you head out on there on your own.
Uh-huh.
Gee, that'd be satisfying.
Yeah, there's
I
also
guess
the
5
beginning of
blades are
Gangs of
fine.
New York when he shaves his face and then gives
cool.
the razor to his son, and he goes, "No, you leave the blood on the blade," which you
What?
don't do. You don't do that. It's for shaving your
It's
face.
a cool
It's-
line, though.
It's not a weapon. That's part of
That
your
whole family dies of AIDS a few years
right,
later.
That's part of your daily routine. You should clean that off.
So get
in the
started.
the original script of that movie, he's brushing his teeth, and then he hands the toothbrush to his son.
You leave the paste
Yeah, he
on.
goes, "Don't clean it off. You leave the
blood.
the peanut M&M stay on the toothbrush,
So you get
so
started.
everyone knows that I snack."
Handing his toilet paper onto his son. You leave the shit on the paper.
Yeah.
So, guys, get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/TAFS. That's harrys.com/TAFS.
$13? That's crazy.
$3.
No, but $13 is the MSRP.
set.
That's nothing.
It is nothing.
You can't buy. Do they know how worthless the United States dollar is right now?
Well, you get the $13 set for $3. That's really nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
It's an amazing deal, guys. harrys.com/TAFS for the $3 trial set. Thanks a lot, Harry's. And we're back.
Is it called Harry's or Harry's?
Harry's, like a guy.
Harrr.
Yeah, Harry.
Yeah.
I was thinking Harry's would be a terrible name for a shaving company. You
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
trust that guy.
Yeah.
And so those sound different to you.
Harry. Harry. Yeah, they sound the same to me from you.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. We're different people
Yeah.
across the aisles.
Yeah, but we're like kind of the same at the same time.
I know.
It's kind of beautiful, no?
I'm proud to be a part of the American empire.
Yeah.
You like
moved
America?
here. You moved here at a bad time. You're
I feel
you're
so much
buying,
more
you're
comfortable
buying
with
very high.
it. Oh no, well, Austin, yes, but when I see garbage on the streets, I feel more relaxed. Australia is too clean, and I feel like I'm not living up to our standards. But here, I feel like
I feel like
can
that's
really.
more of a New York thing, though. This is the only city that has that problem where we just don't know what to do with trash.
Austin has rubble.
Yeah.
I first moved to the Midwest. I moved to a little town just outside of Pittsburgh, and it was just nice to see. You see a car wreck by the side of the road, and it's left there for months.
It was crazy in the 70s in New York. There would just be burned out cars on the West Side Highway. Just left there, just a fucking abandoned. And
I saw that in Dallas. I
Yeah.
saw just where people had made a bad turn off, and the car was left there.
Just a skeleton of a car.
yeah, but
Yeah.
a tow truck's going to come by in an hour and take that away.
It's just that there's that many cars.
They just
breaking
didn't
on the
have.
highway.
They did not have any of that set up back in the 70s.
That's when the city was good. You should move here instead of Austin. Chill with me and Nick every day.
I am enjoying New York a lot.
I would say
I'm
that.
getting
I
my
mean,
steps up.
New York will outlast the United States. I believe that.
Yeah. We live in the
Yeah, I
United
believe
States
that.
of New York. We're New Yorkers first and foremost.
I'm yet to see anything I don't like, except that all the New Yorkers seem burnt out
Well,
by New York.
go to
People
China.
say
Go to
terrible
Chinatown.
things about
Go
it.
to
Do it in a
Chinatown
cool way.
and get the full experience. And
I've
then-
been to Chinatown.
What?
I went to
You
Dime
didn't-
Square.
You
I walked
didn't,
into
need a
Chinatown.
bucket of frogs.
Dime Square was great. I was looking forward to seeing
That's
people
White Town.
baptizing
That's
each
not
other.
Chinatown.
That wasn't happening.
That doesn't. Dime Square is a carve out. They took that away. You say it can't be gentrified, but they took Dime Square away from the Chinese.
Well, that was always kind of the Lower East Side, a little bit.
What was Dime
Like
Square?
by that park was always kind of like
Division.
it
and-
wasn't so Chinese.
Division and was that Essex?
It's
by Mission Chinese.
Yeah, that park, whatever
I
it's
don't know.
called.
That when I lived there, there was no. That wasn't like there was no Dime Square.
Right. It's
This is an invented.
yeah
It
by
is.
the
It's
Red
a-
Scare podcast.
It started in like 2014.
I read an article about it in the New Yorker by
There are a
Julia
lot of
Yost, and I wanted
great
to see
articles.
it before I.
There are a lot of
died.
really
Yeah.
good articles about it. Like
It's like
maybe
a block
2000.
where people hang out and then fucking post on Instagram.
It's 3
I know.
bars basically.
No, that was what I took away from it.
And they write 75,000 articles about 3 bars.
Captured the nation's
It's
imagination.
really
Young conservative Catholics who are sexy.
it's really
This is
it's really
Insane.
it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius over there. It's really it's like Haight Ashbury 1968, you know.
I just ate a bad salad and I moved on. But
Mhm.
Yep, they got bad salad. They have sluts.
I like that the choking sign that you have to have in every restaurant here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They've done it by hand.
With the Asian guy.
That
I
felt
like the one with the
artistic.
Asian
Is it an
guy.
Asian guy?
I like the one with the Asian
the
guy.
Wiki
Yeah.
How Asian guy, and he's getting the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I assume it's his wife too. It's a lady giving it to him, and it's in a very loving manner. I've always projected that.
It's so
onto
funny that even has a name. Is that there was
What?
a guy named
choking guy?
Heimlich, presumably, that was like, oh, if somebody's got food stuck in their throat, maybe try squeezing them. And they're like, that's genius.
He's just waiting for a man to choke so he can say, "Time for the maneuver."
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume it took him a while to get it right.
Yeah,
Heimlich
probably.
Himmler was his
Why
name.
don't we remember the good things he
We
did?
don't remember the good things.
Mhm.
You go to mass every week?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
What type? Latin or English?
If I can Latin, yeah.
Do you understand the words though?
Now more or less.
It's kind of like synagogue because I don't know what the hell they were ever saying. It was
yeah,
just
which is
gibberish
nice
to
because when
me.
it's in English, you go, "This
But
is
you
very
don't
silly,
listen
and I
to
don't
people.
believe
Even
anymore."
if they were
and-
speaking English, you'd be like,
Yeah, but it's a stupid language.
Yeah.
Like it's not even I wouldn't even have the option, you know. But like Latin mass strikes me as the same kind of thing where it's just you someone's saying gibberish to you and
but
you're
there's
like,
only
That's nice
like
when you hear
20
it.
Latin words.
And they don't change; they're the same
Yeah,
most
yeah.
of the time.
yeah.
But then they'll say, you know,
Spiritus Sancti.
Spiritu Sancto.
Sancto. Yeah.
When they go, you know, like, "God, you are so beautiful and strong," and then I'm thinking about shampoo and
And this
all
guy.
the advertisements that have done it. Yeah, you've
Mhm.
heard
That guy's dick. Wow.
I don't know. Have you had a
What a
close up on
dick.
the man's? I mean, he's also singing into a microphone with a cowboy hat. Can you see that?
I want to fuck.
He's so
It
skinny.
looks so good.
I'm trying to lose weight.
Are you?
Why?
I've been on well, really, I'm trying to take care of my fucking my cardiovascular health, which I've never really put much of a serious effort into. But
Sure.
I'm getting.
Are you worried that the nicotine is going to give you a heart attack? This is my current big concern.
No, I don't really give a fuck about that. But it's like the. It's up to you pick your battles, I guess. No, I mean I can't even. I would be like getting up off the couch. I'd be winded walking to the fucking bathroom.
You just want to feel strong as you go around your
I don't want
life.
to. Yeah, I don't want to feel like everything is an endeavor. Like
Yeah.
getting up because it's at the point where I'm somehow gaining weight and not eating because I can't. I'm like I got to make breakfast and I'm like I can't. I just can't get up.
This sounds like depression rather
Yeah, it
than
sounds like depression.
unfitness.
Well, I feel pretty okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think it's that. I think it's.
Is there a wasting? You're saying that getting out of bed and going to make breakfast feels like an
I
exhausting...
think because I've spent most of the last 6 years. I mean, like we became podcasters.
Yeah.
I used to work jobs where I'd be on my feet and I have to be moving around.
No, I understand. Yeah.
And then that got removed, and then it's like I do nothing. I mean, I would lift weights, but that's like a different kind of
It's
exercise.
sad. Your podcast goes well enough to not have a job, and you go, "My job has been removed from me."
Well, I mean,
they've taken my
We're
motion.
going to talk about the
motion is-
dangers.
Has left
yeah,
the-
Yeah.
All right,
And
you just get a couple. You do treadmills in the studio. Get rid of the chairs.
Like
podcast
like
live.
OK Go.
I got
Yes.
Yeah.
I got it.
Exercise bike.
I got an exercise bike, but I didn't really know how to. I've never really understood how cardiovascular. I never had an interest. I've always hated running. Cardio has always been like math to me, where it's like
the heartbeat has to be at a certain number.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I don't mean literally like math. I mean in like I remember in school. Other things I would enjoy. I would enjoy learning other things. Yeah. But having to do math problems was like mentally exhausting. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to think about numbers. It doesn't bring me pleasure. It's like exerting force with my head, and I don't like doing it.
You may have to find a cardiovascular activity that you love and forget that you're
well,
doing
that's
it.
right. I mean, I got into the indoor cycling now.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with. The last 2 weeks I've been able to do it because I just did the bare minimum amount of research into how you structure the workout so that you can see progress. Because anytime I've done cardio in the past, it's been like you just got to get your heart rate up just to give your heart a workout. But if I can't quantify it in any way,
if you can't get better,
if I don't understand what I'm doing, then it's like this is just, it makes me, I'm just making myself uncomfortable for a brief period of time. But
you figured it out? You know how to cycle to better...
Yeah, there's like anything else, there's, I mean, it's like the same thing if you don't know anything about lifting weights and you get into lifting weights and you just fuck around and do whatever and you never get any stronger. It's like, why am I doing this? But if you understand programming and how it works and it's, like...
Look, I support that. I just don't know. I mean, cycling indoors sounds really boring.
Well, you put a movie on, you watch the movie. Okay. Yeah.
You don't watch like a gay guy yelling at you about positivity and stuff?
No. I tried doing that for a while. I would do the Apple Fitness
like
workouts.
Like the spin class guys.
But then
that beautiful lady with the ponytail who's on the
Instagram feed. They're like unstructured. They don't, it's just like a hit workout every time. So you're not going to, like, I thought
you told me you hurt your penis from indoor cycling.
I have. Every time it goes numb and cold. And I don't know...
Are you tucking it under the leg?
Cold dick,
I don't know what happened, but I don't, and you see online, they're like, oh, well, you need a different kind of seat. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to fucking...
Take a seat.
Either this is
I'll just get the numb dick.
Yeah, fine. It's fine. I don't care.
Take the numb dick.
How long are these cycles going for? Do you numb the
like
penis?
An hour to 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you then translate to cycling outdoors? Do you go up
I have a bike, but it's like, it's for going places,
I'm scared to bike because... I now know 2 people that have died getting hit.
I'm sorry.
In New York City. One was a comic that we loved.
I heard about him.
Yeah. It's scary. I haven't been on a bike since I heard that.
I was looking forward to cycling without a helmet in America, and then I've heard about that.
In Miami, you can motorcycle without a helmet. So sick.
Like Terminator.
Guys are on like crotch rockets, just like wasted, like with cocaine smeared on their faces.
I love this country.
It's a great country.
Did you see that Israeli diplomat's son that fucking like ran over a cop on his motorcycle?
No.
And the judge was like, we'll let him go back to Israel. They just dropped all the charges.
He killed a cop though. I mean, he might have been
ran
doing
over
it for
a cop on his bike. He didn't kill him, but
he might have been doing it for like ACAB kind of style.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That was it.
He did it for ACAB
on his motorcycle.
Yeah.
He collided with a policeman on a motorcycle and they let him go.
They just let him go back to Israel.
They let his people go.
Have you not seen fucking Lethal Weapon 2? Diplomatic immunity, dude.
I never watched Lethal Weapon 2, but I do know that line from it.
Diplomatic, the bad guys are offering Connors.
Diplomatic immunity.
I've got diplomatic.
How about
immunity.
a movie called Urethral Weapon?
Yeah, okay.
And that's the guy that
I'll hear you out.
pisses his pants when the bad guys.
When Mel gets a little older,
that's gets in and he's like, I might go fucking crazy.
I'm
and then
too
he just
old
starts pissing himself. He starts pissing himself, and they're like, this guy's loco.
And his powers disappear and he doesn't know why.
This guy's loco, Neo.
I want to tell you guys about
Matrix
one more
movie?
thing.
That's what I like is like the brothers Tank and Dozer. Everyone else is either Maori or black, and then the one guy, the computer guy, is Mexican.
Yeah.
He's like, you're loco, Neo. The rest of them are like, ooga chaka, ooga, whatever. I can't find it, whatever their language
Deep
is.
inside of me.
Yeah, they're like, well, how are they brothers?
Man.
They don't.
I've always liked to think about that song that they recorded it fully and beautifulally and then left the studio and one guy stayed up late and was like, I'm going to put some Ooga Chuggers in the front.
Oh, yeah.
And then released it to the radio and they're like, the song's on the radio. And they tune in, Ooga Chugga, and they turn off and they go, what the fuck did you do? And we
Tom Jones is pissed. You fucked up my song.
Is Tom
what
Jones
the hell is
sing that
this?
song?
I think it's Tom Jones, isn't it?
No, it's a Swedish group.
Hooked on a Feeling?
Yeah.
I'm
sure
Tom Jones.
It's a blue Swedish group.
Blues? The Blue Man? No.
Can we look it up?
You want to learn a new language, James?
Nah. I tried getting Duolingo. I couldn't do it. It was too
I don't think
encouraging. I deleted
Duolingo-
it yesterday.
Yeah, Duolingo
I've
is
never
just a
learned anything.
game. I don't
Well,
think you learn
Duolingo
anything.
stinks, but Babbel is awesome.
Duolingo is like the like fucking. It's like a product of the tech industry being.
Yeah.
All this whole like you need to gamify everything, and then all
You're winning gems and hearts.
All
and
you got people
Yeah, it's
to
like-
do is become addicted
it's
to
like Fruit
trying to
Ninja.
learn a language without them actually learning.
Well,
it.
then they can be much more annoying because you think I want this to annoy me and give. As you go to remove it, it says remove Duolingo ? And then that just opens Duolingo again. They've added a special button.
Wow,
You
it's
try
like
and
you're
delete it.
cursed. Well, guys, what's the best way to learn a language? Is to uproot
Living
your
in
entire
the
life.
country.
Yeah.
That's right. Drop yourself in the middle of a new country and figure
I
out
got it.
figure it out from there. But if you're not ready for that,
You're a pusshead.
you can still learn a language the next best way, which is from Babbel. So basically, Babbel is an immersion program to learn a new language, and a lot of people have. Do you have that on your bucket list?
Learning a new language?
Yeah.
well, the only thing on my bucket list is watching the film The Bucket List, which I still
never
haven't
done it. I've
seen.
always- I've actually- I've
I'm
always wanted to do
saving
it.
it for before I die. It's the last thing I want to do. is
When you
watch-
get into the
Let's watch the
Swiss
2007
euthanasia chamber,
Yeah,
that's
watch
playing on the screen, and when it's over, the blade punctures you
Finally.
through the back of the head.
The
Smile on your
before the machine slices you into a million pieces with
As
razor
the end
blades.
credits are coming up, it fills with water.
Yeah, then before the Swedish euthanasia pod slowly cooks you to death with acid.
It gets hotter during the course of it. Until,
yeah, right. As it rips your penis off. It's Jack Nicholson being like, "I've never had Italian cheesecake," or whatever happens. I imagine.
Well,
it's
we don't
sad.
know. We
Yeah,
don't know
right.
what happens.
Yeah.
So, guys, guys, we're more than halfway through the year. Let's fast forward to the end. Did you check off your dream goals, or are you still daydreaming? That's kind of insane. I don't even know what that sentence means.
This guy
If
didn't speak
mastering a
English.
new
He should get
language,
Babbel.
if mastering a new language is on your list, Babbel is ready for you. So if you're tired of mystery pointing on a menu in a different country, okay, now I get what they're saying. If you're tired of mystery pointing on a menu in a different language only to be served, snails.
I tell you, if I was doing the ad for a language learning service, I would want that copyright to be very tight.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a wild ride, this one. But why not actually speak the language and order what you want? Because you don't eat bugs or anything like that. So that's where Babbel comes in.
Snails are good though.
Yeah,
I've
I
never had
love
them.
escargot. dude.
Escargot's fucking great.
It's really good.
It's snails.
Yeah, but just try it.
All right.
Guys,
It's good, dude.
Everyone tells me it's great.
There's French restaurants all over the city. Just go in and get a plate, get a little coffee, try them. They're great.
Guys, Babbel's 10-minute
They
lessons
come in a
are
special
quick,
plate.
handcrafted by over 200 language experts, ready to get you talking your new language in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's no time at all, guys, because talking is the key to really knowing any language. Designed by real people for having real conversations, Babbel gets you talking. Here's the deal, guys. We have a special limited time offer for our listeners. Right now, you get 60% off. That's a huge discount.
Whoa.
60% off for your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at
Or as they would
Babbel.com.
say in Spanish, 600%.
De-
Not Despacito. That's a decade-old
Programa de
reference.
language
Despacito.
fantastico.
Yeah.
Anyway, 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/TAFS. That's 60% off at babbel.com/TAFS, spelled BABBEL.com/TAFS.
BBL.com/children. For teacher-child language.
BBL.com. Rules
Go
and
to
restrictions.
Google, type in BBL children, and sign your children up for language classes.
Rules and restrictions apply, guys.
Call the FBI. Ask them, I am looking for BBL children.
That'd
And when
be
they
crazy to get your kid a BBL.
Yeah.
Just your,
She's one of
your
those southern
8-year-old
dance
boy.
moms. We're getting her an ass. She's going to win this year. She needs a big, fat ass.
I'm getting my boy a BBL.
Yeah, if it was a trans child, that would be fine because that would help them be who they wanted to be. Obviously, in your own gender, having a BBL would be
You know what I was
very
thinking
wrong.
about? You know what would be a
But-
fun movie? Is like
BBL children?
No. It's like Stephen
BBL
Hawking.
kids.
It's like Stephen Hawking. It's like a fictionalized account of Stephen Hawking, and then we find out that he actually wasn't really that good at math, and that he figured out if he pretended to be handicapped, he could have a computer with him all the time. And so then when people were talking
He's
about
cheating.
math, he would just be like looking at the answers, and the computer would do all the math for him, and then be like, "What if it's 1,000,000?" And then people are like, "He's right, it is 1,000,000." And
That would
they
be
don't-
great if instead of writing PhDs, he was just doing school fair shows of adding two numbers together quickly. But that's the limit. They're like, do you want to join the PhD study at MIT?
Well,
no.
I mean, how do we know he's the only famous mathematician that just is constantly attached to a computer?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, do we really know? It's also, he had ALS for 100 years.
Yes. They do usually die quicker than
Yeah, it's like a 5-year thing.
Yeah, but he was getting the good medicine.
It's also,
They're
too,
definitely keeping him.
to be fair, with all the other people that have ALS, we never try attaching them to a computer. We kind of just let them die. You know what I mean? So maybe it's the computer was what saved Stephen Hawking. If you have ALS and you become like a vegetable, they just put you in a bed. Or you get
You
get
got
a
to be
motorized.
moving around.
You get a motorized wheelchair,
Yeah.
but you don't get the computer that talks and
Well,
hello.
they must have
I'm
also had a better
Macintosh."
computer at some point for him. Like we figured out
Yeah.
text to speech, and he kept the bad voice on purpose.
Yeah. Well, that was his voice. It was
We
part of his
couldn't leave it.
identity.
We should never be afraid to learn new things and to
Yeah.
improve ourselves. He's shackled to the past. He's dead. Is he dead?
Thank
yeah,
God.
he just recently
Thank
died.
God.
Yeah.
And he was on the island?
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. He was doing math for the kids. He was cheating.
Well, I mean, if they're going to be involved in the sex trade, they should at least get an education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That is true.
He was a good guy.
They should get their motherfucking degrees, them kids. Yeah.
Did we find out what happened to the kids? Did any of them go on to get, good lives?
Like
And-
adopted by.
Well, a lot of them sued Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and then the media kind of just basically just ignored those
Right.
cases.
Sad.
Because they're like, Bill Clinton raped me, and they're like, Donald Trump is a fascist. We can't.
We have to stop him.
We got to stop. I mean, it's important. That is bad, but
Yeah.
Did you hear about, who
Stop
was
it.
that? Did you hear about Al Gore on the island?
it seems like everyone went there.
Al Gore was on the island, and one of the girls testified about it. And they said, well, what did Al Gore do on the island? She said, he was a sweet man. He just wanted to hang out with his wife and go swimming.
Yeah,
And then he went home.
that makes sense.
But he didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, it's just him chatting with Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
And he's like, I invented that. Stephen Hawking's like, I know for a fact that you did not. And then that's how Stephen Hawking died.
Are you enjoying watching our election right now? As
I don't
a
know.
foreigner in a strange land?
Yeah, I was enjoying it. I left just before Trump got shot. It looked like that was a good time to go.
Feels like
And then I
people
came
forgot
back.
about that after like 2 days.
It was the same issue of Time magazine. Was Trump got shot, and Kamala is a bossy
bossy pants.
number one lady. I don't understand Kamala.
Why?
I can't-
There's
there's
to
nothing
under-
funny, there's nothing about it, there's nothing to hold on to.
understand really. It's
Yeah.
just like, I mean, that's why I think the turn was so effective, at least in the first 2 weeks.
Sure.
Is because Kamala is essentially hollow. There's nothing there. Even the baggage included, you're like, you hear all the stories about her as a prosecutor and fucking hiding evidence and putting people in jail for marijuana. And it's like, but
That
does
was a
she
long time
even
ago.
believe in that? You know what I mean?
It's hard to tell.
It's like, it's
you
just.
can't really paint her as a radical because you don't think of her
So
as...
you're like, Joe's out, Kamala's in, and then people can think whatever they want about Kamala Harris because we don't really have that much exposure to her.
I think that's probably good for America going forward. If you're going to have a bureaucracy running the show, just have a nice, likable, nothing person.
No, people are going to
Everyone
be
can go
really
along,
mean
get
to
along,
her.
and-
Yeah, but then
if
in
she
that
wins.
case, it should just be like a mascot.
President
We should
girls?
split up the
Yeah.
the power at the top of the executive branch, and we should have a head of state, and then we should have a prime minister and a president, and the head of state. It could even be a fictional character, right? It could be Kenny Powers.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
All I'm
Shane
saying is
and
give that
Kenny
head
Powers?
of state a crown. Never get rid of them. Give them a big chair. Give them a special
Yeah, we
song.
need a throne.
monarchy.
But George Washington, they wanted to call him Your Majesty, and
Yeah.
he was like, "We're
Mr.
not going to do
President.
that shit. We're not going to do that shit."
I'm being won over watching the John Adams thing. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
The Republican spirit.
It's cool that it's Giamatti also. Yeah.
He's the man.
yeah.
I don't think I've seen him in anything else that I
Really?
can remember. I'm trying to think of one other Paul Giamatti picture.
Oh, he's awesome.
Sideways,
Yeah.
probably most.
You
famous.
got to
Didn't
watch
watch
Sideways.
Sideways?
That's a For the Fellas movie.
All right.
Yeah.
I got it mixed up with Adaptation for some reason. I thought I'd watched it and I hadn't. He seems great.
Sideways. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, he's always
He's in that line
At
of
the
like
end of his
unattractive little men who are like the My Dinner with Andre guy who was in Princess
Wallace,
Bride.
Wallace Shawn.
Wally Shawn, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi. He's
Buscemi.
great.
Yeah.
Dinner with Andre is such a good movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
You
It's-
could
it's
make
funny
that for
'cause
$20,000.
You could make it, but that's the other thing is because it's like it's clearly it wouldn't cost a lot to make.
Yeah.
It's deceptive how much of a risk that movie is, because it's one scene, it's one
Yeah.
conversation. If it like to maintain somebody's interest for that long
Yes.
in such a limited space is like such an endeavor.
I mean, it had worked with plays for a long time. but
Yeah.
To do
Yeah.
it there.
There's
All
that
right.
Nixon movie where it's just
I didn't know this.
one Secret Honor.
yeah, it's kind of like making like a 3-ingredient meal.
Yeah.
And then you look at it and you're like, well, how hard could it be? It's 3 ingredients. It's like, get somebody to eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, and there's only
Make it-
one
yeah.
movie like that. Okay, My Dinner with Andre 2. You get the rights.
Yeah.
Action film. Comes
Uh-huh.
out of nowhere halfway through.
I would like to see
An
My
idea.
Dinner with Andre, but written by an extremely stupid person. You know what I mean? So it's two guys
This
sitting
is
there.
a good
They're
dinner.
like, they got 7-Eleven used to have oatmeal and they got rid of it. You know? And I don't know. I'm trying to think why the hell would they? I'm buying it every fucking day.
yeah.
You know?
You're only tipping 10%?
Yeah, just 2
You got to
hours.
tip more than that.
Just 2 hours of that. Why don't we just kill?
I
all
mean,
of
you
these?
have all the infrastructure
The
to make
news
that
is trying to
happen
get me
right
mad
now.
that there's no more bees. They're stinging people.
You could
We should produce that.
consider it. I was going to push for you to.
Let's cast it.
I think that's not a bad turn if you're getting sick of podcasting at any point.
We got to get like a firefighter from Staten Island. Just like a guy that's like, there are too many blacks on the jets. There's just a guy with the worst opinions in the world.
Cast yourselves.
A guy that's like,
Save money.
A guy that calls into like New York sports radio. Like one of
Okay.
those guys who gets mad at like
Yeah.
yeah, at Mike and the Mad Dog, which is like a local whatever. It doesn't matter.
No, you angry sportsman. Who does he talk to? I mean, My Dinner with Andre, he's been out and had a beautiful mystic adventure.
A cop on leave for
spiritual
police
adventure.
brutality.
I was thinking 18-year-old girl who's just been to India and found us.
That's a good
and she
one.
has to talk to the sports guy.
Yeah.
And they sit silently having nothing to discuss.
She's looking at her phone the whole movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude,
I
we
think
got
it
a
should be
hit.
dumber than that. It should be a guy that just drove 2 hours to buy fireworks. And then he's coming back to meet his friend that works at a Batteries Plus.
Yeah, he had to go to Pennsylvania for fireworks because they got the good
The
ones
guy working
there.
at the batteries, he's like moved by his friend's adventure.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
I dream of going out there and getting them firework.
Yeah, let me tell you.
But I guess I'll
the
never
apple
see it.
cider is fucking. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it.
Dude, they've got slot
Just nice.
machines
Every time
in the
he's
gas
about
station.
to say something, he has to stop himself because he can't paint any kind of picture.
He doesn't know the
whatsoever.
end of the
He
sentence.
can't quantify anything. Nothing. Dude, I made a spaghetti dinner the other night and it was fucking. I mean, I can't. Yeah. It was good. Let me say that.
You stretch that to 95 minutes. You send it to the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You could do it. So it could the work of a weekend.
We have to make it a little queer though, just so we can sell it in
The
Hollywood.
gay waiter.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
gay. Yeah.
My dinner with Andre's penis. And it's sort of hanging out of his pants. You only see it in
Dude, you're shitting at your dick.
and then it goes wide so the waiter
That would
comes
be a
over.
good part of the movie if we have Nick's penis pooping segment.
Mhm.
That'd knock out 15 minutes of dialogue.
Yeah.
Send me to jail.
Mhm. Did we get through all the reads? We're
I
done.
think we did.
Good.
I got to piss so bad, actually.
Well, we still got 15 more minutes.
Do we?
We've done an hour and 15.
Yeah.
It flew by because we're
It's
having so much
been-
fun. Have you had fun?
I really appreciate
It's been a blast,
I don't know
my
that
boy.
I've done any. That was a terrible slap.
No, I think it was pretty good, actually.
That's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks a lot, James.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
Check
for
out
coming
James
on.
McCann's catamaran plan.
Extravaganza plan.
We did do a catamaran plan extravaganza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about just a veganza?
A vegan.
Let's not go crazy.